Hello and welcome back to Linode. In today's video, we are going to take a look at the Linode API, which is very powerful. We can use it for all kinds of things, even setting up our very own Linode instance right from the command line. So let's go ahead and dive right in and see some examples of the Linode API in action. So the first thing that we'll need to do to get started is to create an API token that we will use to authenticate with our Linode account. To do that, we will click up here where our username is. If we drop that down, we can go down to Profile. And then here, closer to the middle, we have an API Tokens tab. Then once you click on that, you will get a list of any personal access tokens you may already have. In this case, I don't have any. And it will also give you the opportunity to create a personal access token if you don't already have one, or if you need to create a new one for a separate purpose. So to create a new one, we could go ahead and click on Add a Personal Access Token right here. And then on this section right here that just popped out, we can configure the permissions for what this key is allowed to do. And you definitely want to pay very special attention to that, because you definitely don't want to give it more permission than it needs, because if this key were to ever leak out, whoever gets a hold of it can do anything that this key is configured to do. First and foremost, we need to give it a name. So for mine, I'll just call it test. And then right here, we have an option for expiry if we want this token to expire in a certain amount of time. If you drop this down, you can make the token never expire. You can make it expire in 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months. I'm going to leave that as its default for now. And then down here in this area, we have the most important section of the entire process. And I've already mentioned that you should give this key only the permissions that it needs for security purposes. But whether or not this key is able to be useful for its intended purpose all comes down to whether or not you actually set the right permissions. So for example, if you set account to read and write, it can make actual account changes, but maybe read only is good enough. If you are going to use the API for a purpose that involves reading the domain names, you can simply set this to read only if you don't have any intention of actually having that make changes to your domains. Perhaps read only is good enough. Then you could go straight down and then determine which permissions the key will need to have. And that all comes down to your intended purpose. Perhaps you are writing a program, a script, or you simply want to do some curl statements to interact with your account, which is actually what we're going to do in this video. Now in my case, I'm going to make everything read-only. So with this key, there won't be any changes allowed, but it will be able to read all of the account details, which will be more than enough for me to show you some examples of interacting with the API. So I will click Create Token. And then we have the token right here. And make sure you jot this down because it will never be displayed again. If I click OK right now and I didn't copy that down, then I have permanently lost my ability to see what the key is, and I'll have to revoke it and then create a new one. So in my case, I'm just going to copy this to the clipboard. And that should be good enough for me. But again, make sure you make a note of this in a very secure area. Now, I really shouldn't be showing this key in a video that is going to be watched by a lot of people. However, it is just a test, and I want to make sure you guys see generally what keys look like. It's just a bunch of random characters, as you see here. But do as I say, not as I do. Definitely keep this key safe and don't let anyone see it unless they really, really need to see it. So I'll click OK. And then we should be good to go ahead and use it. So I'm going to go down here to a terminal. What I'm going to do is create a variable, and that variable is going to contain the API token for future use. So to set up a variable for this, I could simply type token, then the equal sign, and then I will paste in the token right here. And there it is. So I'll press enter. And just to make sure that it was saved properly, I could simply type echo, $, and then the name of the variable. And sure enough, we see that the variable does indeed contain the actual API token. Before we get started with the examples, there's a few commands that we'll need to have available first. And the second one is json_pp. In order to find out if you already have that on your system, just simply type which before the command, and that'll tell you whether or not you have that available. In this case, I don't have this command right here. It's basically telling me that it wasn't found. Similarly, we also need curl, so I can do the same thing with curl. Now this one is installed. We can see the output user bin curl. The which command, if it's successful, will show you where that particular binary for that command is located. And if it's found on your system, it will give you the full path to that particular binary. So in this case, on my system, I do have curl, but I am missing json_pp. On your end, if you are missing one or both of these commands, you'll need to get those installed. So in my case, on this Fedora system, I can simply run sudo dnf install, and I'll paste the name of the package that I need, at least on Fedora, right here, which is this package right here. It's actually part of Perl. So for you, you would just consult the documentation for your distribution or operating system. So I'll press enter. So it's going to install a total of 3 packages to facilitate the installation of this command. That's fine. Let's go ahead and do it. And that was pretty quick. So let's go ahead and see an example. The first example will actually fetch a list of images that are available on the Linode platform. So in order to do that, we will type curl, then https api.linode.com/v4, and then /images/ and then we are going to pipe that into json_pp, just like that. So I'll press enter. Let's see what happens. And we get quite a bit of output here. So I'll scroll up to the top. And there's definitely a lot of detail here. So here we get a list of images as we would expect. We get the name of the image. So for example, we have the Alpine 3.10 image right here. Scrolling down, you see some different versions of Alpine. Now we have CentOS 8. Debian 9, Fedora, and so on. So that's pretty cool. Now we could fetch a list of images, and that's especially useful if you want to be able to interact with Linode on the command line to the point where you actually create your own instances. It's good to know which images are available to serve as the base of your Linode instances if you want to do full automation. So for the next example, we can actually get a list of all the instance types available on the Linode platform. So if I press the up arrow here, then I can simply change images to Linode, then add types to the end, and then press enter. And as you can see, we have quite a few. Now note the ID. So we get the ID of the instance type right here, and we get some specs. For example, how much memory does that instance type contain? What is the actual label, which will give you some additional clues for what actually makes that instance type different from others. The number of GPUs, disk, and so on. So as you scroll through this list, you'll see that there's quite a bit of information here. So if you want to basically just find out some information on the types that are available for creating a Linode, then you get that from this list right here. And we were able to do that right from the command line by simply using curl with our API token. So for the next example, I will again recall the previous command. I'll just simplify this right here. We don't need Linode for this. We could change types to regions because we are able to create Linodes in various regions around the globe. So it's a good idea to get a list of the regions that are available, so that way you could choose the one that is closest to you or closest to the customers that you intend to serve. So I'll press enter. And again, we get quite a bit of information here, as you can see. So we have Europe Central, we have Europe West, we even get the IPv4 ranges as well, which is pretty cool. And here's US East. And we also get a list of capabilities, which is important. If you want to deploy a Linode or some other feature that Linode gives you access to in a particular region, it's important to know what the capabilities are of that region. It does vary a bit, so make sure you pay attention to that. But again, we were able to get this information right from the command line without even having to Google it or go through all the documentation to find it. It was actually pretty easy to get that information, as you see right here in our terminal. Now here's where it all comes together, because what I'm going to show you how to do right now is actually create a Linode instance right from the command line. In order to do this, though, we will need to have different permissions for our API token, because if you recall, we set everything to read-only. So if I attempted to create a Linode with the API token that we currently have, it's going to fail because we didn't give it any privileges at all whatsoever that allow it to actually make changes. So back on the dashboard, we have our test key right here. And again, if we view the scopes, we can see that it is indeed read-only. We can't change it. So what I'm going to do is actually revoke this key. And that'll get rid of it. And what I'm going to do now is create a brand new one. So I'll call my new key test2. I'm going to have it default to read-only. And then when it comes to Linodes, I'm going to set that to read and write. And I think that should be good enough. So I'll click Create Token. And here we have the token, so I'll copy that again. And back down here on the terminal, I'm going to replace the token variable that we've created earlier with the new key. So the example curl command that we will use to create our Linode instance is fairly long. So what I'm going to do is paste it in right here to save some time. And there it is. So what I'm going to do is explain what's going on here. So of course you know that we are using curl, and we want to post because we don't want to just read information. We want to actually send changes over to the API endpoint. And the API endpoint that we are going to send changes to is this one right here. As you can see, it's using the version 4 Linode API. It's api.linode.com. And then we want to interact with Linodes. And specifically, we want to interact with instances. Now what we're going to do is set the authorization to the token that we have saved as a variable. So we have that right here. And then we're going to send content type of JSON, as you see in this section. We need to set the type to the Linode G5 standard 2. You can replace this with any instance type that you want to create. Just keep in mind that when you do create a Linode, billing for that Linode starts immediately. So if this is just a test on your end, make sure you delete that Linode when we're done. Otherwise, you will receive a bill for it. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, continuing, we want to set the region. And in this case, we are setting it to US East. The image that we are going to use is Linode/Debian9, as you see right here. And then we have root pass, and we have it set to root_password from the documentation. So what I'm going to do is change that to supersecretpass, and that should be fine. And then the label, which is what the Linode will be called, is set to prod-1. So let's press enter and see what happens. And we get some output here, but what's exactly happening? So let's return to the dashboard and see if anything is different. So I'm going to click on Linodes. And as you can see here, we have a Linode with a name of prod1. It's Debian9. And this is indeed the one that we created with the API token via the command line. So if I click on it, let's just see what's going on with the console. And we can actually see that it's all set and ready to go. So I'll log in with root, supersecretpass, and then enter. And what do you know? We were able to create our very own Linode with only the command line via the API token that we've created, which just goes to show you that the Linode API is powerful and allows you to interact with your account without even having to leave your terminal. So there you go. Those are some examples of using the Linode API. We were even able to use it to set up our very own Linode instance, which was awesome. And in the documentation page that matches this article, there's even more examples in there, so definitely check that out as well. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. The API is awesome, and you could use it to fully automate pretty much everything you would want to do with the Linode platform. Now, as always, click that like button if you like this video, and also subscribe because we have some awesome things coming up very soon. Thanks for watching.